Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of WrestleSpeak podcast. I'm your host, like I said, and no special guest today. I'm just gonna, do this solo. Alright, so today I'm gonna review WWE NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. And yes, I'll be reading off Breacher Report. So let's get this on the way, shall we? Alright, WWE opened its 2020 pay-per-view schedule with NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 from the Empress Ballroom. As a spin-off of NXT, which had a great 2019, the brand was looking to tear down the house with collisions such as Joe Coffey against Walter, a fatal four-way for the tag team titles, and Kaylee Ray defending the women's championship against both Piper Niven and Toni Storm. How did it all work out? Who was victorious? And how good were the matches? Let's find out. So we kicked things off with Trent 7 versus Andy Dennis. For a few, that was largely about Andy Dennis starting the fight for no reason. Trent 7 was the aggressor at the start. This was negated quickly though, and the match turned to an even exchange with relatively little wow factor. It was a textbook match with no standout maneuvers or moments. As anticipated, this was a means to spotlight Dennis and nothing more. He's back on track as a dastardly heel, having tossed 7 into a member of the ring crew when the referee wouldn't allow him to send them in an exposed turnbuckle. One more move after that, and it was over. So Dennis defeated 7 by pinfall, and the grade level was a D+. On paper, this was the weakest match of the lineup, and it didn't exactly start the show with a bang. There was nothing fundamentally bad about it, but that doesn't mean there was anything good to pinpoint either. Had this been a television match, it would be fun. But since it took up a spot at the TakeOver event, which is precious real estate, this was underwhelming. WWE couldn't have gotten just as much out of Dennis in his Razor's Edge when he had hit 7 when the microphone reached back and skipped during this match. Well, I wouldn't exactly blame them at that point. That did suck. But if it was a television match, fine. But on a TakeOver event, that just sucked. Anyway, we got the NXT UK Women's Title match on the line. It was Kaylee Ray versus Toni Storm versus Piper Niven. Alright, the pace picked up with this match. From the onset, Toni Storm, Kaylee Ray, and Piper Niven, had more energy taking the fight to each other than the previous segment, mostly with the two babyfaces focusing on the champion. There was even a moment when Storm considered hitting Niven with a chair only for the two of them to go back and take out their frustrations on Ray. After a few near falls that gave each woman a chance to win, Ray was able to capitalize on stealing the pin from Storm's Frog Splash on Niven. So Kaylee Ray retained the title and is a B-, and this was a major step up from the opening contest, but still no match of the year candidate by any means. Keeping the belt on Ray is interesting that it was the least eventful outcome possible. Having Niven taken the fall makes the future of this division even cloudier, as there is no obvious path for a babyface to the throne way when this felt like the right time to make a change. Well, I would agree on them at some point in time. But that's how we roll, in WWE and pro wrestling in general. So we'll just move on from it. Alright, next one. We have Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin. The crowd found itself split at times as Jordan Devlin sought to outdo Tyler Bate, who kept up this trend of being a rock-solid player from bell to bell. Bate had the edge going into this match as the more accomplished of the two, and the story being told about Devlin wanting to prove himself dictated the flow. Most of the battle was driven by Devlin's feverish need to win, counteracted by his ego. Every time he was in charge, he got cocky and it stopped him from being able to secure the victory. Bates' elongated airplane spin and an exchange of nothing but fists to the face were moments the crowd ate up along the way. Everyone was on their feet when the two men kicked out with each other's finishers. Eventually, Devlin fell to a twisting corkscrew splash. So Bate defeated Devlin by pinfall. The grade level was a B, and it's an easy formula to take two talented wrestlers, put them in the ring together, and let them have a good match, which is what happened here. While there was nothing at stake, Bate and Devlin fought as if the win mattered, which helped sell the match. It's hard to dislike about that guy. This is awesome and fight forever chance. I would agree with that one. Alright, next we got the NXT UK Tag Team Championship Fair 4-Way Ladder match. In this ladder match, it was a struggle for supremacy that went back and forth between all 4 teams from start to finish. Anytime someone gained momentum, another stepped in to take them down a peg, sometimes literally yanking them off the ladder as they were fingertips away from the belt. At one point, there were 5 ladders in the ring to account for all the superstars. It was a mess, but in a good way. There was a planned moment when Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews were supposed to do Swanton onto the sink, but Mark Coffey's table broke ahead of time. They switched the plan to a double Swanton onto Wolfgang and made up for it. Ultimately, though, it was the Gallows team of Coffey and Wolfgang left standing tall with belting. So Gallows retained the titles. It was a solid A, and ladder matches are almost always the most fun element of any event, and this was no exception. This was a brawl with spears through ladders, broken candlesticks, and high-risk spots to keep the energy up the whole time. Keeping the belt on Gallows was the right move too. Had they lost the titles this soon, it would make them seem like transitional champs.
Hi,
And ladies
Duncan.
and gentlemen, I got a guest. His name is David Housen, everybody.
Hi, everyone. And this is a new microphone I got a couple days ago.
Cool, cool. Now we're on to the main event, which is the UK Championship match. Walter versus Joe Moore, tenacious attacker of the two. Joe Coffey did his best, to bring the fight to Walter. This was a match of two big bulls wailing on each other. The Brutes had numerous tests of strength and durability by using chops, slaps, elbows, and fists rather than technical mat wrestling. But there was still room for Coffey to hit a moonsault and other odd moments here and there to spice things up. Those went a long way preventing monotony,
Yep.
after the referee was taken out. Coffey had Walter beaten with no one counting the pin. Alexander Wolf stepped in to help the champion, and Ilya Dragunov tried to even the odds. There was another near fall after a power bomb to the apron and a clothesline, but the wait for a new referee gave Coffey a few more moments to kick out. Surprisingly, the match didn't end soon after that. As Coffey still had fight in him, he absorbed a lot of punishment to his legs and more before ultimately tapping out. As a bonus, the Undisputed Era attacked the Imperium after the match to build hype for their battle at Worlds Collide on January 25th. So Walter retained the title by submission. The grades in A, Walter has been so dominant that it was hard to believe Coffey had much of a chance to win. However, they avoided making this a waiting game for the inevitable victory for the champion. Coffey put up a great fight, and the false finishes in the latter half of the match showed that a title change wouldn't be impossible. The tag for the Undisputed Era was also a perfect way to end the night and get people talking about what's next to come. So in my book, I'll give it a 8.8 out of 10. That was a
Mm.
great show. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're gonna do Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill.
Okay.
It took place 2 days ago at the Bomb Factory in Dallas, Texas. All right, here we go. All right, Impact Wrestling kicked off this 2020 with a huge pay-per-view offering, Hard to Kill, featuring a historic main event in which Tessa Blanchard became the first woman to challenge for the company's world championship, and she wrote the final chapter in her year-long rivalry with OB's Sammy Callahan. With the third generation competitor etched her name in the history books as the first woman to hold a major promotion's top prize, or where her incredible journey ended disappointment at the hands of wrestling's most despicable villain. Here we go. So we kick this off with Ken Shamrock versus Madman Fulton. Ken Shamrock returned to Impact Wrestling pay-per-view to kick off Hard to Kill. The former NWA World Heavyweight Champion square off with OVE's Madman Fulton in tonight's opening contest. Jake and Dave Chris accompanied the massive, monstrous Fulton to square circle for the contest. Shamrock offset Fulton's power advantage by traveling in a triangle armbar, but the heel broke the hold by reaching the ropes. The 55-year-old grabbed the knee bar, but Fulton again escaped. Fulton then tried a submission on his own, but the veteran babyface escaped with an arm drag and unloaded with a fury of body shots. Here answered with an armbar of his own in the ropes. Shamrock dove over the ropes, but Fulton caught him mid-flight. Shamrock wriggled free and delivered a released German suplex on the floor. He unloaded on Fulton, decked Chris, and set his opponent into the ring post. Referee Mike Posey ejected the Chris from ringside just as Fulton dropped the legendary badass and targeted his left arm. Shamrock recovered and countered a chokeslam attempt into a Kimura. Fulton's teeth of dislocated shoulder completed with camera angles, giving that impression. He tried to fight the match with one arm, but eventually broke away to to another armbar from Shamrock, who picked up the win via verbal submission. And the great levels of C, at this point, no one should be expecting a mat clash out of Shamrock. At his age, he is still a physical marvel and total badass, but he is much more reliant on in-ring storytelling than anything. That was on full display here, and the result was a match that was much better than any that it had any right to. Colton did a fantastic job of selling Shamrock's offense and telling the story of an unstoppable force plagued by injury. He tried to gut it out, but failed as so many have to the veteran's badassery. That story helped elevate the quality of the match, making it exponentially better than Shamrock's bout with Ruth at Bound for Glory. There are a bunch of guys from bygone eras who have mistakenly come back to the square circle. Shamrock has embraced his return and throws caution to the wind. In regards of the pure wrestling quality, his effort can never be called into question. Alright, next one we got the X Division Championship match, Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin. X Division champion Ace Austin spent weeks harassing and insulting the Rascals Trey Miguel and his mother, sleazily commenting on her appearance. His admiration with his top contenders' mom fueled the rivalry instead of an emotional championship clash in the night's second match. The challenger started hot, taking Austin down twice and pounding away at his face as he sought revenge for weeks of torment at the hands of the title holder. Austin seized control of the match, targeting the left knee of his opponent. He trapped him in a single leg grab. Unbeknown to the official, he used his trademark card to deliver a sickening paper cut that served as an insult to injury. A double stomp to the back of Austin allowed Miguel to create separation and spark a babyface combat that included a reverse suplex and a modified dragon sleeper. Austin slipped out though and called for the fold. Miguel countered and delivered a flatliner for a near fall. The champion recovered and delivered a big springboard kick for his own 2 count. Yes, this is off the top rope Bobby shortly thereafter, and Austin scored in the win following the fall. So it's a B minus, and the complete lack of selling the knee injuries by Miguel severely hurt this down the stretch. So much effort and time were put into targeting and that body part, and to drop it, make little sense. Excuse me, I'm sorry. With that said, the in-ring chemistry was strong, and Austin is one of the most promising young stars in the industry. He is a great heel who can back it up with one of the most innovative and original arsenals in the industry. At only 23 years of age, he screams money and should be a star for the company as long as it will have him. A post-match brawl between the competitors suggests the program between them is far from over. Next, we got the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship match. Jordan Grace versus ODB versus Taya Valkyrie. The year-plus reign of Knockouts champion Taya Valkyrie faces his greatest threat in the third match of the night as Jordan Grace and ODB challenged for the title in a triple threat match in which the odds were never in Loca's favor. Fresh off pinning Valkyrie in a tag team match just 24 hours earlier, Grace looked to continue her winning ways early, pairing up with ODB and overpowering the champion with a big shoulder block and scoop power and a scoop suicide that followed. ODB delivered a fallaway slam on the entrance ramp, momentarily eliminating Grace from the occasion. Back inside the square circle, she quickly fell-played the Valkyrie, who cockily and arrogantly worked her over, all the while mocking the fans' chants of food truck. She applied a submission, but Grace returned to the ring and broke it up. And worked over Grace until the challenger's power advantage allowed her to hoist the champion in the air for ODB to deliver a big bulldog off the top rope. A big spine buster from Grace put Valkyrie down, but the champion kicked out at 2. He broke up a bridging German suplex and Grace repaid the favor, bringing a submission attempt. Grace delivered a big senton from the top rope to ODB, but Valkyrie broke up the pin. ODB delivered an ugly TKO to the champion, but Grace broke up the pin with a Vader bomb. Grace delivered the Grace driver on ODB, but Valkyrie's manager, Johnny Bravo, provided a distraction. From there, the second swept Grace's leg, and Rhea Loca survived day number 370 with her championship intact. And it was a B, and it was nice to see OD back on a big Impact Wrestling pay-per-view card, but it could be argued the overall quality of this match would have been even better had it been a straight singles match between Valkyrie and Grace. Grace is such a great worker. She's athletic, a hell of a setter, and mixes speed and power to great success. She is clearly the future of the Knockouts division. But with that said, it feels like Valkyrie still has some mileage in her title reign. So vocal, obnoxious, and stuck-up heel, she is the type of villain fans want to see get her comeuppance. At some point it will happen. At some point it will be the hand of grace. This was not that point though, and nor should it have been. Give more fans to digest the story and buy into the feud, and the result will be a louder and more memorable moment when Grace finally ends the year-long title. All right, bye, Jack.
By
All
Jack.
right, all right. Next, we have Brian Cage versus Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam benefited from an early distraction by girlfriend Katie Forbes' own girlfriend and attacked the injured left arm of the Machine Brian Cage. The former world champion absorbed the early onslaught of the veteran and fought his way back in the match a bit with one arm. Meanwhile, commentator Don Callis reminded the fans at home of Van Dam's gripe that an entire generation of wrestlers stole his moveset and showed no appreciation for being the innovator he is. Van Dam regained control and had Forbes hold a steel chair against the face of Cage, then launched himself across the ring with a Van Terminator that left his opponent seemingly unconscious. The referee called the match off as Daga hit the ring, trying to talk Van Dam down. He ate a kick to the back, and the referee ordered the bell to be rung as we suddenly had an impromptu, unadvertised match in old school ECW fashion. It early, but Daga, protege of Mexican legend Conan, fought his way back in the match. RVD capitalized on the interference from Forbes and dropped his opponent. The five-star Frog Splash followed that Mr. Cage. So Van Dam defeating Daga. This was a C plus. All right, I'm gonna keep this short. Okay, I'm just gonna keep this short. Now, all right, it's Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin with the Call Your Shot trophy on the line. Eddie Edwards captured the Call Your Shot trophy by way of his win in a battle royal at Bound for Glory. Yada yada yada. Edwards retains his Call Your Shot trophy, and it's an A. All right, next is Rhino versus Moose. Moose defeated Rhino. It's a B minus. Next, we got the Impact World Tag Team Title match. The North versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack, and the North defeated Willie Mack, and Rich Swann was an A. And now our main event, the Impact World Title on the line. Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan. Oh. And Tessa Blanchard defeated Callihan to become the first woman ever to become the world champion of a major promotion. The grade is an A plus.
Wow.
Yep, she's made history in a lot of ways. Now let's see what happens on Raw. Okay, let's go having. I want to show y'all what happened last night on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Give it a minute. There we go. All right. We got here. See what we got here. So we have Drew McIntyre defeating Randy Orton and AJ Styles in a triple threat match. If running through two former champions in the whole conga line over the last couple of weeks wasn't an indication, the guy to watch in 2020 might just be Drew McIntyre. The former NXT champion and future WWE champion took a great leap forward on Raw when he forced his way into a planned match between Randy Orton and AJ Styles. He configured it on the spot into a triple threat and earned a decisive victory over the two former world champions. He did so despite a turn of events that united Orton and Styles against McIntyre, allowing them to briefly return to their pre-existing game of one-upsmanship. Phenomenal once again attempted to co-op on Orton's moves, and the Viper dropped AJ over Styles class which on that only got two. Orton finally danced with the one that brung him by nailing Styles with an RKO, but McIntyre jumped back into the picture and blasted the Apex Predator with a Claymore to win the match and claim inaugural brag rights on two of his opponents come the Royal Rumble. Just 27 more to go. Ricochet defeated Mojo Rawley. Shark and alright. If you're preparing for the Royal Rumble match and aren't the biggest dog in the fight, it helps to go against a dog with a lot of fighting. So Ricochet's victory over Mojo Rawley to go good omen for the High Flyers' chances in the January 26 melee. After all, Mojo has the energy of 29 other men cramped into his body, and the former U.S. champion had to get inventive to get past him. Rawley's gorilla press hard that dropped Mojo like a rock. Ricochet followed up with a 630 for the victory through the middle portion of the match. Was as sure as a sign that as any that his focus lies on the biggest victory possible and perhaps grandest stage of them all. Charlotte Flair defeated Sarah Logan again. Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan wasn't much of a match last week, as before the bell ambush from Logan immediately turned things into a wild brawl that Charlotte ultimately got the upper hand. But oddly enough, Flair didn't beat her, opting instead to simply leave Logan down at the end of the tussle itself and recognize it in lieu of a proper victory. The Queen did the record this week, booting Logan straight in the face to kick off, so to speak, what ended up being a very one-sided affair. Logan had no problem throwing hands with a 10-time women's champion, so points must be awarded for bravery. But they must be equally docked for awareness as Logan narrowly avoided the countout only to one headlong to a figure eight that forced a submission. Reportedly, Charlotte threw Logan over the top of once the referee had placed the rope back over her shoulders, a flex that's devastating as it is understandable. After all, what's the use of being a Royal Rumble pyramid if you don't dress the part? 24/7 R-Truth confronted WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Mojo Rawley pinned Truth to win the 24/7 title. Let's be honest, we live in a world where R-Truth is somehow backed his way into the men's Royal Rumble match. But announcers' attention certainly did Truth no favors on Raw as the rapping superstar City except for Truth is that Lesnar didn't take the 24/7 title from him. That was Mojo Rawley who struck after the dust had settled the ramp. Thus, his arrival was a catastrophic misunderstanding that went south in a hurry. It turns out Truth's brazen challenge was actually directed at Paul Heyman, who had entered the scene in historic Roman match undeclaration, but Lesnar was some move tried and F5 that left him right pickets for Rawley's attack moments later. Definitely not the best night for Drew. About the only songs his fans can take is the knowledge that he'll bounce back. He's thrown on the top rope, but he tends to come out on top. Just not tonight. Bobby Lashley defeated Rusev. That's sad. Even the Vaulted returned the booking, Rude was enough to put Rusev over the top against Bobby Lashley, who he memory humiliated for 2 weeks straight, but can't manage to defeat as long as Lana remains in the Almighty's court. In fairness, Rusev certainly demoralized Lashley before the proceedings with pear shape, overrunning his opponent with a punishing offensive press and screams of "Come on, Bob," while pie-facing Lana into the corner. Great stuff all around, especially the savage shake-off of a German suplex from Lashley down the stretch. Liv Morgan's arrival led to a confrontation with Lana that stopped Rusev in the stretch and allowed Lashley to pounce with a spear for the win. Alright, the Viking Raiders retained the Raw Tag Team titles against the Singh brothers. There is clear. Uh-oh. Whoops, I dropped my mouse, guys. Alright, there is clearly no show on which the Singh brothers won't compete, but they might have done well to sell against the Viking Raiders. For all Sunil and Samir's real documented pluckiness, they were a little more than grist for the mill upon answering the Raw Tag Team Championship Open Challenge. As Eric and I both see the win with a Vikings match in what feel like in a matter of seconds. To be fair, sometimes confidence issue to win. This was not one of those. Alright, Becky Lynch and Asuka signed a contract for their Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch isn't usually a man of few words, but this rivalry with Asuka seems to have brought out the brevity in her. Or at least it did until the Empress of Tomorrow unleashed a slew of green mist into the eyes of the man moments after they finalized the Raw Women's title match. That finally seemed to awaken the badness that Lynch had been trying to repress. Following the attack from the Empress of Tomorrow, a delirious and half-blinded Becky seized hold of a mic and unleashed a torrent of passion against her foe that amounted to one promise. If she goes down, she's going down swinging, and Asuka's coming with her. Aleister Black defeated Buddy Murphy. That's 3 in a row for Aleister Black. He once again defeated Buddy Murphy to secretly close the door, literally and figuratively, on the show steering series against the best kept secret, as the rivalry now has a clear winner in the former NXT champion. Murphy obviously did not take the loss well, which was understandable given the outstanding performance he put on in defeat. Not only did Murphy land a Murphy's Law down, did not rope break, he kicked out a Black Master with his last gasp of strength. It was an effort that anyone could theoretically be proud of, but after Alistair earned a win with another ruthless Black Mass, Murphy was left desolate on the outside, having taken his best shot 3 times and missed, left with nothing but more questions than answers. Eric Rowan defeated a local competitor, yada yada yada. And then Seth Rollins and AOP defeated Kevin Owens, Big Show, and Samoa Joe in a fist fight. The Monday Night Messiah may be a self-sacrificing, lightly blasphemous moniker, but there's no denying that Sabre did come into play during the first ever fist fight on Monday Night Raw. It just wasn't Seth Rollins. As Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and Big Show ran roughshod over Rollins and AOP, Rollins found himself pleading for help from Buddy Murphy, who was still destroyed ringside following his loss to Aleister Black. The best kept secret shockingly accepted his low blow show in a sneak attack that instantly turned the tide. Away from the ring, AOP placed Joe on top of the announce table and powerbomb KO right through him. Then back in the square circle, Murphy, Haycom, Razor, and Rollins formed the giant, and Rollins sealed the victory with a stomp and left Joe unable to continue, earning Murphy an embrace from Rollins. In some ways, there is no ending more fitting for the self-proclaimed Messiah, a flock grown, a leap of faith eroded, and a message sent to all non-believers. Resistance will be punished, and faith. So, yep, that's what happened on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. I believe that will be it. I believe that will be it for this episode. But before we go, we gotta do a quick preview of NXT today.
All right.
Let's see. All right, here we go. All right. Contender to Rhea Ripley's NXT Women's Championship will be named this Wednesday and this tomorrow, excuse me, in a battle royal. The Nightmare found out last week that she has no shortage of potential challengers as superstar after superstar arrived, ready to call her out, who will outlast the competition and earn a championship opportunity. All right, then we got Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne face Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Also in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, we got Kushida and Shelly Bell versus the veterans. All right, and what will be the fallout of Undisputed Era Surprise NXT UK Takeover? Well, y'all find that out tomorrow night, 8/7 Central Live on USA Network. And that's going to be it for WrestleSpeak Podcast. I want to thank David for being here. David.
Hmm? What?
This is the end of the podcast.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I want to thank everybody for watching, and go check out my channel. There were 1,000, also Dante's channel, and also the other two co-hosts of the Rant and Rave podcast, Jordan and Brian Martin.
Yep. Now, excuse me, guys. I gotta go.